Welcome back to ABT Tutor. My name is Leighton and I'll be taking you on the course of biology. Now you ask, what is biology? Well, biology is the study of all living things. And these living things are called organisms. Biology deals with living things and the environment that such living things live in. All living things have certain characteristics that differ from non-living things. And what are these characteristics, you ask? They reproduce, they feed, they respire, and respire means that they give off energy when they make use of the food that they consume. They grow and they excrete. And excretion is practically that they get rid of substances that they no longer need. They also move and they're sensitive. And being sensitive means that they respond to stimuli in their environment. A place where you find organisms is called its habitat. A population is a group of organisms that live in the same area at the same time and are able to breathe with each other. A community is all the organisms within a habitat where they coexist with different species. Now we look at the ecosystem. An ecosystem is the entirety of a community, all the organisms, the environment, and within the ecosystem, living things and non-living things come together to coexist. Within an ecosystem, living things all play a role, and their role and how they react to their environment is called a niche. When you identify organisms, you look at how they're classed or how they're named. Now, with species, there are two types of names that you have to remember. A generic name and a specific name. And they are many times seen in Latin. For the same species, they have the same generic name, but at times have different specific names. Different organisms can be identified by their names and in the special groups that they're placed in. And these groups are called kingdoms. There are 5 types of kingdoms. Animals, as you know, plants, fungi, protists, and prochytes. The main kingdom that we'll focus on is animals. And animals can be divided in 2 further groups, phylum and class. The first phylum that we look at are Cnidarians, and these are corals and jellyfish. They all live in sea or other aquatic bodies. The main reason they live in water is because of their soft bodies, and also if they're on dry land, they easily dry out. One thing about Cnidarians is that they have a ring of tentacles around the mouth of each of the organisms, and they only have one opening for their digestive system, hence they have no anus. 3 main characteristics of Cnidarians are: the body wall is made of 2 layers of cells, a ring of tentacles around the mouth in the center of the organism, and only one opening to the gut. The second phylum that we look at is Echinodermata. These are starfishes, sea urchins, and sand dollars. They are also found in the sea. For 5-part radical symmetry, the body wall contains calcareous particles, and many have shells with protective pins or spines. The next phylum that we will look at is Arthropodia. Arthropods are animals with jointed legs but no backbone, and they are the most successful group of the animal kingdom. What we mean by successful? That means they're able to adapt to any environmental conditions. They also have an exoskeleton that allows them to survive on dry land. Also, of all the phylums in the animal kingdom, they're the largest group, and there are more kinds of arthropods than any type of animals in the world. Characteristics of arthropods are several pairs of jointed legs and an exoskeleton. In the phylum Arthropods, we look at the class Crustacea. These are crabs, lobsters, and woodlice. They are also found in wet or moist areas. These types of arthropods have more than 4 pairs of jointed legs, but they are not to be confused with millipedes or centipedes that we will discuss later. Also, they breathe through gills. Another class that we'll look at is arachnids, and I'm sure that you have heard this word before. These are spiders and scorpions, and they're land dwellers. Arachnids have 4 pairs of jointed legs. They also breathe through gills that are called book lungs. The next class that we look at is insects, and they are the largest class of all the animal kingdom, as they are the most successful class. This is due to an exoskeleton and a trachea that prevents water from leaving the body of the insect easily. Hence, they are able to survive in very dry or arid areas. 3 main characteristics of insects are they have three pairs of jointed legs, 2 pairs of wings, and they breathe through a trachea. The next class that we look at is Diploda, or known as millipedes. They have bodies that consist of many segments, and for each segment they have 2 pairs of legs. The next class is Cyclopoda. These are centipedes. They also have a body consists of many segments, but each segment has 1 pair of legs, and the front segment has a pair of poisonous claws. Now we move from the phylum of arthropods to the phylum of chordata. Chordata are animals with a supporting rod running along the length of their bodies. Most familiar chordatas are ones that are called vertebrates, hence backbone. The first class that we look at is Pisces, or fish. Fish all live in water, although there are a few exceptions, such as the mud skipper, which can be found time to time on the surface breathing air. These are vertebrates with a scaly skin, and they breathe through gills. The next class is amphibians. As you will know, frogs and toads. The adults tend to live on land, while they go back to breed in water, and the youngsters or larvae develop in water. At the larvae state, they tend to have gills, while as adults they develop lungs. They have a smooth, moist, scaleless skin, and they lay eggs. We now look at reptiles. Examples of reptiles are crocodiles, lizards, and snakes. They many times can be found in water, but a lot of the times they are found on dry land. They also lay eggs, but their eggs aren't sensitive to conditions. They have a rubbery texture that actually prevents them from drying out. And they lay eggs both on dry land or in water. We now look at aves, or better known as birds. They, like reptiles, lay a waterproof egg, but instead of being rubbery, it is actually a hard shell. They have wings, they have beaks, and they are homothermic, which means they're warm-blooded. And the final class we look at are mammals. This is the group that human beings are found in. They tend to have a skin covered with hair. They're homothermic, also warm-blooded. They're vertebrates with a developed backbone. They have diaphragms and lungs for their breathing systems. They have a placenta that aids in the reproduction process. They have hearts that have 4 chambers. Also, they have different types of teeth, and their cerebral hemispheres are well developed. Particularly, we're saying that they have a developed brain, and hence through its developed cerebral hemisphere, they're able to adapt and adjust to their environments. And that's a wrap on our first topic in biology, living things. Please look out for more videos in biology on ABT Tutor.